This is Sam, and I'll be doing the nightly video for March 10th, 2020. So last time that I did the video with you guys, we were actually in a very similar situation. We were actually, I believe, right about here in the indices. And we actually had a very, very similar situation to what we have right now. So what I'd like to show you here is just two products. Just two products that I think can cover pretty much the entire market. I think if you have an understanding as to what these products will do and how they correlate and how they connect to each other, I think that's enough. And then I'll let you know a couple of names that I'm looking at. So first things first here, let's start with the daily on SPY. So I still have the same Fibonacci structure the last time that we did a video together, using this as your extension, and now we've actually moved lower since then. So we did get the bounce that I was looking for. If you guys recall in the last video, we went down, we were here, I said look for a bounce to about 31.30, ended up coming basically exactly to there, and we went on to make a new lower low. So this time it's exactly the same. We have another level down here, it's another extension, and our momentum structure looks very similar to what it did last Friday. So the main takeaway from the video is it's important to have key levels, right? Whether you have the level in the form of a structural support or resistance, that low, that high, whatever it is, or whether it's Fibonacci structure, which I'm using, or whether you're using something like a voodoo line, which is a combination. So basically, it's just a repeat of last Friday's video. I think that this is going to be an oversold bounce situation. We have a catalyst coming up tomorrow. We have a floor to lean against here, against 272 on SPY, 273. And your momentum structures are all at the bottom and reversing. So here's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the SPY to be able to get a bounce here. And I'm expecting it to get to a bounce to about 3060. So about 306 on SPY. And I believe that after we get the bounce, that will fix this momentum structure. Right? The momentum wants to revert to the mean, if you will. That would do it. Once we hit 306, I think that tops us out, and then we roll back over. But in the meantime, that's a hell of a bounce. Right? That's a 17-point bounce if that were to happen. So definitely worth trading and definitely worth having a plan for. Let me show you the other side of the coin here, because SPY is important, and pretty much any stock that you like will move with SPY, right? So we don't actually have to review Amazon or Apple or all of the other stocks in the stock market, because the indices are really what's driving all the trade. So the other product that I'm going to show you here is going to be TLT. It's going to be bonds. Now, as this loads up here, it's really important to understand in this slice of time that we're in, bonds and stocks are moving opposite. That won't always be the case, right? And don't get married to that idea. But in this juncture of time that we find ourselves in, if stocks go up, or excuse me, if bonds go down, that helps stocks go up. So once this loads here, we will talk about it. All right, guys. So my toss is having a little bit of some issues here on toss. So what I'm going to do is just show it to you on TradingView. So here's the other side of the coin, guys. So you have bonds on the other side of the coin. And you can see here that stocks had a pretty good day. They were up about 5%, and bonds were actually down about 5%. A couple of things on the bond chart. One, they have gone full Tesla at this point, right? When you have a curve that looks like that, that's pretty emotional parabolic trade. So what we want to know is if the bounce is going to come through in stocks, how strong can it be? And how many factors are playing into that? Well, we just looked at SPY, and I think it plays pretty well into that narrative. But bonds here, if they move lower, that would also help. So right here with bonds, the natural support level is the 21. Now that comes in a little bit closer to 160, right? You can see that there. So that would imply about another $2.50 down on TLT. And if that were to happen, that would be positive for the stock market. But let's also look at your momentum, because this is really important here. Your momentum structures on bonds, you see how they're near the top of the momentum structure? The momentum actually starting to look kind of like an M. That is a beginning stage topping structure, right? And especially when you have the yellow line below the red and they're both falling from the top part of the structure. So this implies a little bit of down pressure on bonds to come. If we look at this indicator over here, this indicator, the key thing with this one is the red line. And this red line does not cross that level very easily. It takes a lot to do it, right? And when it happens, it's a very overbought condition. There's not a lot of edge there in buying the bonds when it is that overbought. So combine it all, and bonds are way overbought, and stocks are reasonably oversold. As those two things revert to the mean, I think we can get a pretty decent bounce here. And on SPY, I'm looking for right about 305 to 306. So I think we can have a significant bounce here. I think we go up first before we make a new low after hitting the 305 SPY targets. All right, guys. Well, that's the video. Hope it was helpful. Keep in mind, if you're trading SPY, you could trade any stock with that. So you can use Apple as your trading vehicle, or Google, or AMD, or any stock you like. But just be aware of these levels and follow your momentum structures. All right, guys. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.